What were the conditions like in the bothies?
With the bothies, oh, I say, well, it was generally just slabs of stone, and they weren't very even. You can, and the fireplace was just built up with bricks, and just bars across the fireplace, and the fireplace would be about 12 foot deep, and that was never out, once we had 10 of coal in a month. And you'd get this great big metal pot where you made your porridge. Your pot was at the side of the fire, bail on this, like. And in the morning, if it was your turn to get up to make the porridge and do the needful, you go up at 4:30 instead of 5:30. You just roast broad your clays. You went out, and first you muck at your horse, and then you come back again. The time you come back again, the men, they're going out to sort their horse. And when you come back again, you make the porridge. You poured it out, and it was all just brush cups, you can, horn spins and wooden bowls. And you poured it out, and you mashed the tea, and the porridge pot's hits in the middle of the flare. Now when you come in that time, you just snip up your brush cup, and you spin, and you got the cold porridge, and you fill your bowl of this cold porridge, you see, and, well, whatever you want, no way. And then you put some sugar in the top of it, and plenty of milk, and we'd hear that, and the cut of our bread, that would be there. And then when you come in at next again, there was a meal pot, what you could have fiddled a meal, that was 2.5 stone a meal. Took a neffy or 2 neffy meal, whatever you wanted, into your bowl. And poured hot water on that, and some salt and pepper, and give it a steer till it swelled, and then flood it with milk, and that was your tea with toast. 3 times a day, that's what you lived on. And maybe get a niggle out of it, very seldom. And then on a Sunday, you get about corned beef or something, you see.
John, in connection with the forestry workforce, where did they all stay? Well, the men lived in wooden bothies, quite a primitive way of doing it was. And when I went to do repairs, I had to live the same way as they did. Sometimes it was pretty rough. They were usually built up on stilts, a bit off the ground. So you had to live rough anyway. You just washed the best way you could. Water had to be carried to the bothy. Usually there was a certain amount of equipment, kettle, a teapot, a frying pan. That was the cooking side of it. You had to make the best of that. You made what food you could. Usually we lived pretty well. They had maybe a kind of a ceilidh at night. There was always somebody had a melodeon or a fiddle or maybe just a mouth organ or a Jew's harp, and they had a bit of fun that way. Played cards. If there was a river or a loch handy, they would go fishing at night.
Could you tell us something about the lodges, the fishing bothies that you stayed in?
Well, they consisted of the wooden bunks, one above the other, 2 layer, and of course, there was the seat all round the lodge, and the stools. You just had your what you called your trunk, your little box with your food in it, and just took your whatever you wanted at the beginning of the week, and you run out, you just went to the nearest village or wherever you could go for it. Or van. The vans used to come, the cope and that used to come up the water, but when you was away down the water at the Ducat or one of these places, you'd take the whole week's supply with you. Well, you just had the big, the big metal kettle, and you'd always sit beside the fire boiling, and then the frying pan, of course, and the pot for boiling eggs. You could have cooked maybe a tatty of that for yourself. Ham and egg, or a boiled egg, or a fried egg, whatever you wanted, or a bit of steak, mince, cook it yourself. But you didn't get much time. You only got 70 in the lodge. If you was all cooking, You didn't get long to frizzle and fry for an hour, or else you'd waste all your time cooking, wouldn't you?
But Bothy life was alright in a sense. It was a wee bit rough, you know, but quite good otherwise. You'd always a good fire, you'd plenty of coal, you had your meal and your milk and everything like that. So you never starved for the want of food.
Between Stonehill and Lawrence Kirky term I did feed. 'Twas to a wealthy farmer his foreman for to be. To drive his 12 horses either in cart or plough, for it's anything I took in hand I very well could do.